Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI NŌ.
HIKI NŌ, Hawaii's new wave of storytellers.
Aloha, I'm Leslie Wilcox, President and CEO of PBS Hawaii. As Hawaii's only public television station, an important part of our mission during the COVID-19 pandemic has been to convene diverse voices that express what our community is going through during these precarious times. Through the perceptive and courageous work of our HIKI NŌ students, we've been able to share some very personal, very honest glimpses into the lives of these young people as they shelter at home through a series of 25 student reflections. In our recent HIKI NŌ Spring Challenge competition, students had 4 days to create video portraits of local families dealing with the coronavirus crisis. A total of 23 video family portraits were completed. Here are the honorable mention, third, second, and first place finishers in the middle and high school divisions of the competition.
This is Denise Cabrera from Waina Intermediate School. On behalf of my teammates and our HIKI NŌ teacher, Ms. Loanne Higuchi, I am extremely proud of our Spring Challenge Honorable Mention Award. I was the reporter and scriptwriter on this project, and we decided to do our story on the family of team member Teresa Ueno because we wanted to show how the family of a teacher and small business owner deals with the pandemic. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, families are being affected. One family struggling with the lockdown is the Ueno family of Makakilo, Oahu. Terry Ueno is the head of the family and has found himself struggling with his responsibilities.
I work at Maui Elementary School as a preschool teacher.
For Ueno, working from home has been a difficult task.
I need to get more into technology, which I don't care to do or like to do.
It's not just the changes in technology that Ueno is facing.
I miss my preschool students.
Besides teaching his students, Ueno is also faced with the new responsibility of teaching his own children, who are also sheltering in place at home.
He used to do a lot of his work on time and, eager to do it. Now he's more laid back.
My thoughts on distant learning is that it's harder to do things at home because at school I get all my work done, but at home I can't do because in a different environment.
In addition to his teaching job, Ueno and his wife Hugh are restaurant owners who are struggling to keep their business afloat due to the new COVID-19 mandates.
Before the COVID-19, I think I'm successful with the business. I work hard. I'm so happy. So now I think I felt, I don't know how the future going on.
With the restaurant business slowing down significantly, the family is facing other problems.
There are other difficulties in my life besides my school or working as a teacher. I have a restaurant. I want to make sure we make profit. I have homes, make sure the renters are paying their rent.
I don't make money, I lose money. We had to work fee for pay the rent. We can afford anything.
But even with all the hardships, the Ueno family has chosen to look at the bright side of their situation.
The good things that the pandemic has given me is spending time with my kids, my family.
As they spend time together, they are looking forward to the day when this pandemic will be over.
The hope for this pandemic is to find a vaccine, everyone gets healthy or stay healthy and have normalcy in their life.
I hope the pandemic over for everyone on the world and live healthy life. And everyone get well, can go enjoy the life, go my restaurant, eat the pho.
This is Denise Cabrera from Waina Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ. This is Isabella de la Peña from Waipahu High School. My fellow teammates, our teacher Ken Sato, and I are truly grateful to have received an honorable mention in the high school division of this spring challenge. I was reporter, and we decided to do our story on the Garlitos family because during these trying and unprecedented times, we understand that our health is of utmost importance, and we wanted to shed light on those in our community and what they're doing to help keep others protected.
I am Beatriz Garlitos from the Philippines. I'm retired and now busy watching my grandchildren.
Beatriz Garlitos is a grandmother from Waipahu that is helping keep her family protected by sewing handmade masks.
I started making masks since the coronavirus was spread. I just copied the regular mask using my old fabrics from my recent work.
With coronavirus spreading across the islands, the need for face masks is at an all-time high. As of May 9, 2020, Hawaii alone had nearly 629 confirmed cases of COVID-19.
Dealing with the coronavirus is still all new to us because we have to get used to the online schooling, wearing masks everywhere we go, and not going out as much as we used to.
Everybody knows that coronavirus is deadly. We can catch the virus or the disease from a symptomatic person, and we can transfer it to our family and our loved ones.
Cassandra Garlitos shares how her grandmother's masks help her stay safe during these unprecedented times.
Masks help us get through the coronavirus because it decreases the exposure we have to people in the public. I'm 100% more appreciative of the masks my grandma makes because I knew one day her sewing skills would be helpful. Because while other people have to buy their masks, my grandma puts the time and effort to make ours.
Symptoms of coronavirus include fever, chills, repeated shaking, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, and loss of taste or smell.
I used to work in a clothing factory. That's where I learned. I have the motivation because instead of buying masks, I just make from my old scrap fabrics. I love seeing my family members wearing the mask that I made.
By wearing a mask, you can help prevent the spread of the virus and help keep yourself and others safe.
Stay home, practice social distancing, and most of all, frequently washing your hands.
This is Isabella de la Peña from Waipahu High School for HIKI NŌ.
This is Ella DeColony from Kahului Intermediate School. My fellow teammates, our teacher, Sarah Rampo, and I are super excited that we took third place in the middle school division of this spring challenge. I was the production assistant, and we decided to do our story on writing letters because it is a good way to connect with our families.
Ever since quarantine started, my family and I have been writing a lot of letters to our friends and family. Inside of the letters, we draw fun pictures and think of some creative things to write inside of them. This as often before quarantine started, but because we can't see them in person, it's one of the closest ways that we can get to actually talking to them.
spending time together as a family during the stay at home. Although we know that we have friends and family in Hawaii and across the mainland that are lonely or recovering from an illness, or where maybe it's just not such a happy time for them. So we've used our creative energy to do some art together and send them some good cheer in the mail. And in turn, it makes us feel great too.
My favorite part of doing this is the feeling you get after you drop it into the mailbox. Knowing that the people who will be receiving it will appreciate the time and effort that I put into their card. This is Mackenzie Brammer from Kailua Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
This is Lawson Makaniole from Roosevelt High School. My fellow teammates, my teacher Charlene Wang, and I are very proud that we took third place in the high school division of this spring challenge. I was the reporter. We decided to do our story on the Villarose family because they show how difficult and different it is to be separated from parts of the family.
The last time I saw my grandmother was actually yesterday. So before with the whole outbreak, I've been actually staying up there with her because usually I watch her from afternoon coming home from school all the way till usually when I sleep.
As the main caregiver to his great-grandmother, who he refers to as his grandmother, Elijah Villarose struggles to aid them due to the shelter-in-place order.
Elijah kind of took over that role of taking care of my grandmother. So in that sense, he kind of took a huge weight off of me. But it's been, I think because my grandmother, she's 95, I mean, she understands what's going on. So her being able to comprehend what's going on made it a lot easier than what it could be.
On top of the distance put between Elijah's grandmother and the family, the visits they had been accustomed to had started to dwindle.
My grandmother usually likes to watch TV, so I usually sit next to her as we usually eat a snack, drink, or whatever. She tells me stories, but now if we get her something to eat or something, it's just usually a drop off and a goodbye.
If anybody goes into her apartment, we wear the masks and gloves. We have the cameras in there so that we can see her, an intercom, and also we speak to her through the screen door or the window as opposed to going inside of the apartment.
My time with her now, it's less than it was before. Usually throughout the day, we usually stay with her just in case she doesn't fall over. And if she's alone and stuff, at least she has that help right there immediate instead of being stuck there for hours. And me being the primary one, I'm up there the most.
Just like in Elijah's case, quarantine has drastically changed the lives of many families. If Elijah's family has shown us anything, it's that it's important for us to always be there for each other, even when times are hard. This is Lawson Makaniole from Roosevelt High School for HIKI NŌ.
This is Mei Kawakami from Kealakehe Intermediate School. My team and I are so grateful to have received second place honors in the middle school division of this spring challenge. It feels amazing to experience one final win before heading off to high school. As the main editor for my team, we decided to do our story on the Kanata family, to share the hardship that comes from being an only child during this pandemic. For me, I especially couldn't imagine not having my 3 siblings around to keep me company. But Mei Kanata and her family show us just how they have been dealing with this situation.
So I'm working alone, and usually I work there 2 to 3 times a week. Just one person at the store.
My dad has a bento store. He opened a bento shop a little before this pandemic started, and that has been really helping us.
Luckily, the community supported us, so we have some business.
Bento shop is doing very well.
If my parents go to work, I stay home alone, and sometimes it's lonely, especially in self-isolation. But I feel like it's good to learn to be self-directed and to be responsible for my own things. Growing up as an only child, at times I feel like I wanted a sibling to help me out or to hang out with, but I definitely think that quarantine and the stay-at-home order has brought me closer to my parents because I hang out with them 24/7 basically. They figure out ways to make me laugh, make me smile, even when it's like a super boring rainy day at home. I've definitely gotten closer with them.
Now I appreciate more simple, small stuff in the everyday life because it's a miracle. Everybody's healthy. I just appreciate everything more than before.
Well, my favorite time was spending more time with family. I've been so busy and I'm so glad we had a little time together.
We usually go on walks together around like sunset and it's really nice and calming. Or we just like play something like badminton. And it's just a really great way to get off like electronics and just talk as a family.
Though being an only child is not that hard, the current stay-at-home order has pushed her to find more creative ways to stay in touch with friends and to defeat boredom.
When this whole coronavirus thing wasn't a thing, I would have taken nature for granted. I would have stayed inside and been like, oh, it's always there. But now that I have the chance to go outside and enjoy nature itself, it's really special. Definitely being an only child has helped me become stronger in this situation. The interaction with my friends definitely helped me get through this because we're all in this together. We just support each other.
I hope it's gonna be over soon, but this before Corona and after Corona, it's not gonna be same.
I realized that it's gonna I can't do anything except practice social distancing and stay at home to make sure that this comes to an end.
This is Marlone Utrero from Kealakaha Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
This is Noelle Lowe from Maui High School. My fellow teammates, our teacher Clint Gima, and I are thrilled that we took second place for the high school division of this spring challenge. I was the camera operator and the interviewer, and we decided to do our story on the Lowe family because my teammates and I feel that during quarantine, my family has grown a closer bond and relationship, and feel that many people and families can relate to our story.
Noelle Lowe is a busy sophomore, dancer, and media student from Wailuku, Hawaii. But with quarantine, her life came to a halt to care for her family and herself.
Well, I have so many extracurriculars and I have so much activities and things I'm involved with. It did definitely take a toll on my relationship with my family. We're all so busy, we don't have the time to settle down and be able to really get to know each other.
As the COVID-19 pandemic struck Maui, Noelle was able to slow down and take initiative for her family.
Now that we're slowing down and everything is kind of just on hold, I realized that I have responsibilities in this household.
She's actually cooking me lunch now, and that's really been nice, to actually spend time with her and really get to know her better.
The moments that mean the most to me during this time with my daughter is the times that we laugh. We've been baking and watching movies, and one day I had to do a TikTok, and she helped me, and we laughed so hard that I was crying. So I just bringing humor to the situation.
Even when facing social distancing, Noelle's personal growth is essential to holding her family closer during quarantine.
Well, now that I realize I'm kind of like the glue that holds my family together in a sense, or the anchor, with even the little things I do, with just making a small stupid joke and my dad cracking up, or me and my mom doing a TikTok. The fact that the little things I do matter makes not only me feel important, it makes myself feel like I matter and makes me feel loved. It also makes them happy. And all I want is their happiness.
Because of quarantine, Noelle was able to find purpose in her family and a purpose in herself. This is Hie Luna Beamer from Maui High School for HIKI NŌ.
This is Sienna Rakoma from Maui Intermediate School.
My fellow teammates, our teacher Jennifer Suzuki, and I are thrilled that we took first place in the middle school division of this spring challenge. I was the editor and producer, and we decided to do our story on the Rokoma family because we felt that they had a unique story to share.
And get the chores started. Vitamins. Are you gonna eat? I work at a dental office and have been unemployed since the beginning of this pandemic. The struggles, of course, is, money. Money is something that I try not to worry about.
My family is not alone. More than 30% of Hawaii residents are currently unemployed. Luckily for us, one of my parents is still working, but even that is a concern.
Unfortunately, with this whole pandemic, I am the only person in our family that is employed at this time, which is financially, it's tough. Also, being an essential worker, I'm more exposed to having the virus as well, which I don't want to get. When I get home, my family is at chance of getting exposed to the virus.
Hi, everybody. While my dad worries about bringing the disease home, my mom worries about just being at home.
I think the struggles that everyone might be in the same boat in right now is just being home, stuck with your family.
For most kids, being with their family 24/7 seems boring, but for our family, it's been a blessing.
Our family has become closer by all the time that we spend together, cooking and baking. We've been doing a lot more board games, a lot of card games. We even took out the Wii, all the things that we hardly did before. Having a full-time job and then having just most times only on Sundays together as a family after church.
Are you excited to
And
try
now
it,
we
Mom?
get to spread that out during the week.
The good things that have happened were that we became closer. My mom, she taught me all the baking basics. Now I'm doing all the work, which is getting out the ingredients, mixing, measuring, and putting into the oven.
Look, would you like a bowl of brown
I feel very grateful and thankful that I do have a family, because you look at people that don't have family, that they don't have a family to be with. I think that's the things that we take for granted.
I agree with my mom. This time together has made me realize how important family is. This is Sienna Rokoma from Maui Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
This is Christian Kaur from Kapaʻa High School. My teammates, our teacher Chris Sanderl, and I are very honored to be awarded the first place prize in the high school division for the Spring Challenge. I was the reporter, and we decided to do our story on the Young family because their story was the most interesting and unique among everyone on our team. For the Youngs, the stay-at-home order on Kauaʻi was not going to get in the way of their unwavering commitment to the sport of bowling.
It's pretty cool because Kalani and his papa, which is my dad, they were outside fussing around with the bowling balls on the grass. So this was throwing the ball on the grass, and then they ended up like stepping it up more, and they put some plywood on the ground and pins to make it like a real-life bowling center.
During the COVID-19 quarantine on Kauaʻi, the Young family has found a way to continue practicing their favorite sport at home.
Since we don't have a bowling alley, we decided to just make our bowling alley in our yard.
I had extra wood materials at home to make at least one lane with plywood and 2x4 lumber.
Bowling in the yard is different from bowling in the alley, mainly because we don't use like oil on top of the wood, so it doesn't skid as far. But the similarities is still bowling. We still try and knock down pins and have fun.
With 3 generations of bowlers in the family, the Youngs have a great appreciation for the game.
The game wasn't real serious. It was more fun, trying to see if we could get pretty good, decent scores. An X is a strike, which is 10. A spare would be a slash with whatever pin count you had after the first throw.
I can't really go to the bowling alley during these times in practice, so might as well have fun while spending time with your family.
Along with many local businesses, the Kauaʻi Bowling Center will remain closed until the lockdown order is lifted.
I've learned to adjust to the routine of what needs to be done, try to keep the germs out of the house. And we just make adjustments to our day. Like instead of bringing Keapuni go play at the park, now she plays in the yard.
Hi, Keapuni. Hi.
Staying positive, active, and entertained during these uncertain times has been no problem for the young family.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Setting it all up, dealing with rough plywood, and allowing their bowling balls to get chipped has all been part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's a family tradition. From when I was a little girl, I was really young, my parents used to work in the bowling alley, and so we used to go and we used to bowl in the bowling alley, and then now Kalani, and then also my little girls used to, so we plan on passing that down to her as well.
She just loved bowling. When she see her brother, Kalani, bowl, she just want to grab the bowling ball and roll it down the lanes.
Yeah.
And what's this? Pin. It was who bowl?
Puni,
Puni, it's you and who else?
Kani.
Lani, you gonna bowl when you come bigger? Yeah.
This is Christian Kaur from Kapaʻa High School for HIKI NŌ.
I hope that these very special portraits of local families, as seen through the eyes of Hawaii's youth, have given you some new insights into how our community has been living during the COVID-19 crisis. Congratulations to all of the students who worked on the award-winning stories you just saw, and on all of the stories completed during the 2020 HIKI NŌ Spring Challenge. All 23 stories will soon be compiled on pbshawaii.org as an historical record of life in Hawaii during the pandemic. Be sure to tune in to next week's show for more proof that Hawaii's new wave of storytellers, HIKI NŌ, can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI NŌ.